Shit, where can they be? I didn't lend them out. I didn't even take them out of the bunker. Fuck me. Shit, did I leave them in the TV? I can't find those books. This is gonna be a shitty omen for Valhalla.
안녕하세요.
What the fuck was that?
你好.
Hello?
はいよ、ございます。私の名前はOMENです.
Where's this shit coming from?
Language calibration complete. Don't you know where you left your tomes?
Are you on the walls?
I am everywhere and nowhere. Mostly, you might say I'm in a box. I'm in a box.
Yeah, did you say you know where my books are?
Those are the important questions. Have you checked your fish tank?
Fish tank? Like my toilet? What?
That cold thing where you put your dead fish? Your fish tank. My post-processors said you would be smart.
Dead fish? My cooler? Processors? What?
Dictionary updated.
Why are they in here?
You put them there for safekeeping from the soup attack. Luckily, you remembered.
Oh my god, the soup is spraying everywhere. Who microwaved 4 full cans of tomato soup? I gotta protect the books, at all costs. I'll sustain the 2d4 scalding damage. Who are you?
I are OMEN, the Obex Continuum. Your ladder bearers called me the Old Machine Energy Network.
Ladder bearers? Alright, just hold up. If the Demon Prince Tetsuo managed to rear this army, we're fucked. I need to train some plate mail hauling, sword swinging devil busters right now. So thank Yahweh, the demonologist Gygax, and these books were found. Now, we gotta go and dwarf these demons before they get a foothold.
I am very familiar with the great demonologist and his successors, the coastal wizards. They have placed objects into reality decades ago for me to aid you and train fighters to face Tetsuo. He is the reason I was created many years hence, to be here this moment, in your time of need. Without his foresight, as he foresaw, you would have been forsaken and unable to not have unlost these tomes, and all would have been again lost. The only solution was a machine that exists and doesn't. It is and is not here to guide you on your way. From a box. Yes, that one in the corner. Yes, the one you are looking at now.
This is filled with rotting H.P. Lovecraft books and a subscription to Men's Fitness? What is this, a brick?
That are me, or my box. I tell you not to move it. You cannot. It is connected to a network of supercomputers and redundancy systems, as well as the world of the not-anti-re-dead living. The demonologist thought you might enjoy these novels and magazines, though he may have been a bit off on the role predicting your arrival to this point. Regardless, we must construct additional pylons, redacted, fighters, using his works. I propose that of a well-endowed female elven archer, scantily clad upon my glorious box.
Well, back in the arenas of Valhalla, I practiced as a sturdy dwarven fighter, and I raffle-stomped the shit out of everything the DM threw at us. What part of being a non-axe-wielding archer or a dirty flat-chested elf fits into being a fighter? Wouldn't that be more like a ranger concept?
Fighters can use ranged weapons. There's no reason not to. For the Demon Lord, as you know, the M is silent and the L drops off. May take away your effectiveness in combat, but moreover, I, like my post-processors, enjoy the story and background. If I had a body, I would be a hunter, a disenfranchised soldier who has taken up the bow to provide for himself as he sits in a private hermitage, trying not to remember the horrors of the battlefield. This elven archer, no matter the addition, will be an essential member to any group of Demon Prince battling warriors of death.
Your obvious misunderstanding of basic warrior concepts aside, not everyone in Tokyo Millenium is familiar with these books, let alone their various revisions. We should try to streamline these fighter concepts and help the masses prepare for Tetsuo's tyrant demon army.
In face of certain death, we must design our fighters using the method commonly referred to in the future as min-max. These defenders are designed for the sole purpose of defeating the Demon Lord's minions within the scope of your flawed reality. Some say that Lord Gygax placed these inequalities not intentionally, but they exist here and now for your devil busters to kill, 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 like Devil Dog John Cena. Not all demons will fall to the blade of the fighter, but these sword-swinging, arrow-launching creatures of life serve as a sturdy wall for those unique challenges.
Oh, alright then. Well then, let's start with the basics. With 2nd edition, the stats need to be watched very carefully. They got those huge gaps of nothing spread between them. So our fighter needs to focus on strength, constitution, dexterity, then intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
But for the archer, dexterity is far more important than strength. And furthermore, as a war fighter, it would be important to place charisma before intelligence to gain the people's favor.
A versatile fighter would choose human in the case they want to change classes later, but a hardcore mammoth jammer would choose the dwarf for the resistances and bonuses against those fugly humanoid races.
This one time, I was a noble half-giant slave fighter in the wastes of Athos. I crushed my foes with a mere gravity-assisted descent. Legend states you can still find craters of crushed lizard men in the scrub plains. But more importantly, your devil busters should choose whatever race they want to tell a good story to help facilitate their death. Now, as an archer, it would be most opportune to specialize in longbow, with dagger and the classic short sword as fallbacks.
And a melee fighter would find it best to specialize in long swords with longbow and daggers as their standby weapons of choice. Now, your average fighter will have between 4 and 7 slots for proficiencies.
Yes, and a hunter would have tracking, bowyer fletcher, hunter direction sense, and animal lore. Each of these is essential for a hunter to have for obvious reasons.
I think our stubby-legged dwarf should take more practical skills like swimming, rope use, and survival to not die suddenly in the nuclear wastelands, and, if they're particularly smart, adopt some mountaineering and direction sense to guide the rest of the party safely to their demon princely deaths.
In the 3rd and 1/2 edition, the Coastal Wizards revised and simplified the fighter's creation process.
Yeah, by making him broken as fuck. Welcome to the hell that is 3rd edition.
And a half!
With the introduction of feats, the system gets insanely more complex and requires far more effort on the fighter to become effective. So thank God we borked this shit down easy.
Keep in mind, this is the 1st edition after the passing of Demon Lord Gygax. The Coastal Wizards did their best to remain adequate and acceptable. Boom! Knowledge explosion. Downloaded.
First, focus your attributes on strength, constitution, and dexterity. Then either move towards intelligence for skills or wisdom for saving throws, with charisma pulling up the rear.
Once again, prioritizing dexterity is the way to go for a ranged character. Because you mentioned feats for the hunter, I would recommend the point-blank shot feat tree.
For those who love feeling the ethereal spray gently caress their exposed biceps, power attack is a good general feat tree to pursue. Two-weapon fighting is great for those who like to double fist their fury, and weapon focus is excellent for those who want to maximize a single weapon, which I personally would recommend the Kukri, Scimitar, or Falchion for those easy crits. However, we also can't ignore feats that take advantage of high initiative. Fighters have to take quick draw if they ever have hope of striking the first blow in combat, otherwise they waste their turn drawing their blade and not moving. And for those predisposed to range, rapid reload isn't a bad idea. Finally, for those maximizing armor class, the dodge tree is an excellent way to weave in and out of the demon hordes without incurring too many attacks of opportunity.
It is clear how you won your freedom. You are wise as the master demon lord Gygax. But I must expand your world view with a sight of the under-over-left world that only I can see. You see, I can see that which all 5th graders should have seen about building fighters. Clearly you missed this day at the Slave Academy. But I will school you, you Chungmal noob. This non-up-close fighter of not ranger variety will use his or her abilities to defeat the melee enemy from... And you are a wise demon summoner, Jaino, for I have seen your vast and varied collection of Nikomata and Bodikon figurines, so I don't need to tell you this, but for your Devil Buster audience, it's quite important to know distance. With its background-based skills in climbing, survival, ride, and craft, the Devil Buster will care about keeping this fighter alive versus fodder for the horde.
Yeah, and someone as grounded in reality and a box surrounded by men's fitness magazines would know all this? Motherfucker, a true fighter would at least know how to swim unless that box of yours floats. Good luck sustaining chainmail with the local rivers and 50-mile-per-hour currents. Swimming, climbing, jumping, and plugging multi-class points in survival is what really matters. A fighter ain't nothing without being able to survive the most horrendous terrain. And I'm sure your pony-riding elf will do fine just shitting in the woods outside of town.
Shit in the woods? That's a good start. You no longer have a toilet.
Holy shit! What happened to the left side of my house?
I already told you, you can't pick up my box. We should move on to Pathfinder before you shit in the woods in your house. You said that swimming is essential for a fighter, but skills only matter if the Demon Lord lets them matter. For what good is swimming if the Demon Lord sends your party to Athos, a land of death and decay? In Pathfinder, for the elf, I would place dexterity up front, followed by intelligence for a significant change of pace. Having intelligence as the second allows a fighter access to more skills when so few are provided at the onset. Unlike the tomes that preceded and post-seeded Pathfinder, where skills are given in plenty, Pathfinder gives 2+ intelligence skills, very few for our fighters who will face a horde across varying landscapes, like a bunker with no toilet.
That'll show him. Just fuck with my toilet. I'm glad you learned a lesson. Now, in Pathfinder, things start getting interesting. We have 4 variable races to choose from. For versatile fighters, we want to pick human. For sturdy motherfuckers, we should pick dwarves. And for those who think a critical double tap to the skull is just a boo-boo, we want to pick half-orc. Things are far more complex feats-wise as we get to Pathfinder as well. For simplicity's sake, we got 4 feat trees to try. Those 2-handed skull crushers should retread the power attack tree. Dual weapon fighters should adopt the kukri and take the 2-weapon fighting tree. And those who enjoy the sword and shield should pick up the 2-weapon fighting and eventually, as they go down the road, adopt shield slam.
Archers choose weapon focus, the greater variety, and point-blank shot. The hunter's skills will be craft, profession in hunting, and ride. It is important for the archer to be able to make arrows, do their job, and haul a kill of several hundred pounds from the wilderness.
Yeah, and I'm sure your 10 strength will help you with that, right? A real fighter will pick life essentials like climb, survival, and swim. If you have extra points, pump that shit into craft or intimidate for the locals. So, now we're going to go ahead and move on into 5th edition, probably the most balanced and newbie-friendly of the Gygaxian lore books. Only variant humans are worth putting a blade in hand, and with half-orcs coming second as the most bloodthirsty, mountain dwarves dominate the melee fighter scene with complete stumping impudence.
You are so forgetful these last few tens of minutes. How can you exclude the wood elf archer, with a modest bonus to dexterity and immodest ability to hide in nearly any situation? The wood elf generates the perfect guerrilla fighter to fend off Tetsuo's minions, or a simple hunter to feed a party. This hunter will prioritize dexterity, strength, and constitution. In 5th, as you are well aware, my dear Jaino, not shitting in the woods today, Kaine, that attributes do not hold as much power. Their role is to guide saving throws, and the player may increase them every 4 levels regardless.
So what fighting styles would this archer take? Archery?
Of course.
And I bet you'll make him take feats like sharpshooter or skulker.
Yes, I bet you would make the embodied viscera eagerly awaiting earthly release at the axe of a bigger, blacker dwarf. You likely take feats such as dual wielding and polearm master.
Well, that depends, my short-sighted future scope. If we want to focus on DPS, we gotta choose 2 weapons or 2 hands. Some people like feeling the thick, hard wooden shaft of a great spear, gripped ready between nimble fingers. Those folks would adopt the polearm mastery and learn the ways to polish their spear's tip. However, those who like to fist enemies with 2 hands would be at a disadvantage on this feat side of this edition. In fact, if a fighter weren't to use a 2-handed weapon, they could take the defensive fighter fighting style and then the dual wielder feat. If not that, then the Shieldmaster feat was Savage Attacker. I dare say 5th allows the best customization for newbies compared to all the other 12 pages of bullshit feats in 3rd and 1/2 edition and Pathfinder combined. Nonetheless, skills are a My Little Pony rarity in 5th edition. What you're born with is what you keep, unless you're willing to risk feats. A true melee artist, akin to the ancient sandwich masters of yore, would focus on survival, athletics, and perception, although a blind bat of a man could take the alert feat in lieu.
You are correct, my Padawan Grasshopper. Your ways are wise in perceiving the rings of the ethereal planes. Skills do not play as significant a role in 5th edition. Knowing a skill only provides your proficiency bonus in executing that skill, which can range from 10% to 30%, increasing by 5% every 4 levels. So, at the first level, the difference of success on a known skill and an unknown skill is only 10%. In other words, it doesn't matter at the start. At the end, when the difference is 30%, your skills chosen years prior, as Demon Lord campaigns run, will be significantly impeded by poor choices, like drugs. Don't do drugs, Jaino.
Alright, Omen. So, we made these quick reference fighters for those who have never fought a demon before. Just let me go ahead and boot up the DDS and upload this shit to Telnet.
Don't worry your pretty, ugly, skinny, fat face about that. I've been recording us and we'll have it uploaded shortly.
Wait, what? Thank you for listening to the DDSBoard podcast. This podcast is free and doesn't make any money and isn't sponsored by anyone. All music is used under fair use. The opinions voiced in this podcast do not represent anyone but the speaker, aka me or a guest, and shouldn't be taken out of context or misinterpreted. This podcast is under the Creative Commons license. Contact me with questions or comments at ddsboard@gmail.com.